Hi everybody. Lately I've spent a lot of time watching videos about gardening, and I decided it might be kind of fun to make my own video about gardening. So what I'm going to do today is just give you a tour of what I've been doing in my yard. And, maybe there'll be a few tips along the way about gardening, maybe not. I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. But let's get going, and we'll see what we can come up with here. All I have to do is figure out how to turn my camera back around so that you can see what I'm looking at. So, oh dear, I don't think I know how. So I'll have to practice splicing my videos together, I guess. Because to put it this way, I just had to. Okay, I'm back. So why don't we start right here with my little garden. Now, one thing you have to know is that this plot of ground used to be part of the yard. So I have grass that tries to come up. In places it comes up a lot, and other places I can keep it controlled, but you'll see grass and a few weeds here and there. I want to start out with my kale. I've picked my kale several times. It does a good job of coming back. So it looks like it's getting pretty close to me wanting to pick it again. And I'm just learning to like kale. I know how good it is for me. My Swiss chard, interestingly enough, I had it over on the other side of the garden a couple of years ago. And last year it came back up, so I transplanted it to over here. And this year it came up again. Well, this time it didn't last very long. It's gone to seed. So the other day I went to the store and bought some more Swiss chard so that I'll have Swiss chard, and I'm going to figure out how to save the seeds on this one as soon as they get more mature so that I can. I tried some bok choy this year. It didn't stay long enough for me to do anything with it. It went right to bolt. So we'll just have to see what happens. Maybe I can get some seeds and try again. These big, huge onions were ones that evidently I forgot to pull last fall because I thought I got all of them, but I obviously didn't. And now they've got these gorgeous things on the end here. So I think they're quite pretty. My cauliflower is a cool weather plant, and it bolted on me instead of making cauliflower heads. So I think I will try a different location for it next year because it gets pretty warm right here in the direct sun. Let's see. Some plants needing water. That's going to be one of those big pumpkins. I don't know if you can see it there. Looks a little wilty right now because the sun's been beating down on it. I will give it some water in a little bit. Oh, I was going to show you this. This is a little lilac that kind of started in the pot, and I decided to make it go in unusual directions, so kind of like a bonsai. And then we've got a hen and chick in there with it. Kind of a little fun. I have quite a few squash type plants, and I don't know which ones are which, but we bought some to eat last year at the store, so I saved the seeds and planted them this year, and now I've got, this one's even blooming, I see. We'll see what's going on here. My cabbages are looking pretty good, along with some carrots and some marigolds. Oh wow, that's coming up fast. What did I plant in there? I just planted it. I think it's, I couldn't swear by it, but I think it's arugula. I just bought a strawberry plant. It needs more water to add to my other strawberry plants that were already here. The birds beat me to the strawberries this year. There was some gorgeous, beautiful berries, and they needed just one more day to ripen. Went out to pick them. They were gone. Petunias. I planted radishes in here. It hasn't come up yet. Unless that's the radishes over there that I said was arugula, and this one's the arugula. I don't remember. Oh, look. Oh, look, oh, look. Isn't that beautiful? That is beautiful. Oh, I just noticed I do actually have a couple of radishes coming up here. And they do look like radishes, so I evidently planted radishes here, arugula over there. Here I've got some jalapeno peppers. I'm not a big jalapeno person, but I discovered that I like jalapeno poppers, and I thought, oh, it would be fun to make my own. Thus, a couple of plants. Some fennel. This is my first year growing fennel. Right next to it, I've got some dill and some basil. And I believe that's some kind of a squash or pumpkin. And some peppers that I planted from pepper seeds from peppers that just sweet peppers that I ate last year. And I saved the seeds. Same with every single one of my squashy type plants. And I've got more basil over here and some lettuce, different kinds of lettuce. And this, I always forget the name of it. It is, just a second, let me look. Oh, got some rosemary, yes. And this is, oh, and I've forgotten the name of it. It looks like parsley, but it's not. And I know it's good for me, but I'm only halfway crazy about it, so I'll use it. But lettuce, and I showed you my tomatoes. I've got some beautiful eggplants growing and some cucumbers. I'm a little puzzled about the cucumbers. I got one that was about like so long and it got yellow and shriveled up, and then the same thing seems to be happening. I read that they either don't get enough water or they don't get germinated. Don't know which it is. I guess I'll keep working on it. More. These are cucumbers also, I believe. That one looks like something different though by the seeds. I've got my own. I planted some parsley. No. Asparagus. I haven't had any good luck with it coming up. This is what's left over from last year. Nothing came up except that. And that seems to be what's coming up there. I planted some nasturtiums just the other day, so they haven't come up yet. Potatoes. Looks like I'm going to have a decent helping there. I don't know the names of these plants, but I like them. Here's a really good specimen. If you know the name, leave it in the comments. And see, my strawberry is... Okay, I need to prop it up, I think is what needs to happen there. So, I've shown you everything here, I think, except for my frogs. I love my little frogs. Oh, several years, it must have been about 3 years ago, we had a real one. And it might have been a toad. A real one in the garden. Over here, I like my clematis plant. And I really wanted to try the starts of it. So I've got some planted in there that's still attached to the plant. And I think that one right there, it was growing under the steps. And the leaves look like a clematis. So I dug it up and transplanted it. That rose was... Okay. These are my petunias. And, no. I wish I could remember. You can tell what they are by looking at them, hopefully. Dusty whatever, and it's not I forget the name. Daisies, coral bells, a sunflower that's very small, and in there I've got a dahlia and a Gerber daisy and a couple of other plants that I don't remember the names of. And those, I forgot the name of that too. I planted that last year. It's obviously a perennial, and some little violas coming up there from last year. Oh yes, I was telling you about my rose that I transplanted from around a tree, and it's looking semi-okay. Looked better the other day. Mosquito plant, and these are some mints. Cat mint, I believe. It looks a little bit like lemon balm too, but it tastes and smells like mint. So they were just volunteers that were in another part of the yard from who knows where. I didn't plant them ever, so I transplanted them into these pots. These mints, herbs, I planted in this pot last year, and they wintered over right here quite nicely. We had a fairly mild winter. Some pepper plants coming up here along with what I believe might be weeds. And rhubarb, I've taken one cutting off of it already, and it's looking a little sick, but it'll be all right. Some bugs got to it, I think. My rose needs some work done to it. Some more rhubarb plants they're hanging in there, but just barely. And a squash of some kind. Surprised it came up there. The hummingbirds love the honeysuckle, and I don't do much to maintain, just water here and there, along with my roses. My cats like to nap underneath the roses. They're not out today, it's too warm for them. It's too warm for me too, but I'm here anyway. Onions, and I didn't show you the onions in another part of the garden. I have onions coming up lots of different places. Blueberries are gonna be ripe pretty soon. They're getting there. Look at that one. Look at that one. Okay. I think this might be a dahlia coming up. I planted a couple of dahlias here, and I thought maybe they died, but it looks like it's coming up. That, I believe, is a walnut tree. I tried to dig it up and saw that it had a walnut seed stuck at the end, so I just left it. Okay, and around here, under the lilac trees, I love my lilac trees. They bloomed earlier in the spring. It's, what were we into, the third day of summer? Irises, of course, did quite nicely this year. And my roses, I love these roses. And this is a wild rose that I planted. It was bloomed, it already bloomed. I don't know if it's gonna bloom again or not. But I started out, just transplanted it for somewhere where it came up by itself, put it where I wanted it, and it has really expanded. Got some lilies getting ready to bloom here, and another wild rose. This one's a gorgeous color. I need to come out here and deadhead. And some lavender. Oh, I like peonies, and I bought a plant. It just doesn't get enough water here, I don't think. It's getting old, but the hosta's doing really well. Lavender's doing okay. I need to drench this, see if it comes back out of it. It doesn't, I don't know. It's just not doing real well. I have some stray sunflowers and various other things around the perimeter, along with grass that I don't want. I'm not going to walk over there and show you just because it's not really that pretty. But I love our yard. Okay, I'm over on the other side of my garden. And here we have our water feature. We haven't put any water in it this year. Not sure why, we just haven't. This is a little decoration that I came up with there. And oh, this tree smells good. We have several weather cameras around pointing toward the yard, so you can look and see what the weather's like. around our place. It's on weatherunderground.com, and I believe it's Corathan 3. So if you want to look that up, or just look under Athena, Oregon, and you'll find it eventually on Weather Underground. Okay, and here our water feature. And, oh, I love these statuesques. Some petunias and some more of those plants that I don't remember the name of. And little chicks right there. Okay. All right. All right. I believe this is a type of hydrangea. It used to bloom quite nicely, but the last couple of years have been trimming it away from the windows because we put in new windows and we don't want the screens to get ruined. So I read somewhere that the reason it's not blooming is because we trimmed it. Got some raspberries stuck in here too that kind of pop up. Those are starting to get ripe. I need to come out here later today and pick my raspberries because, look, aren't they gorgeous? They're getting ripe. So I'm going to eat this one. The rest of them are waiting for me. Oh, here's another one that I have to eat. Some irises, more raspberries, blackberries over there, and giant pumpkins, which first time I've planted those, I bought the seeds. I thought that would be fun to see if they really are giant. Okay. I believe it's too warm for me to be out here. I am going to tell you that that's enough for today. And go in the house and get this edited and see if we can get it uploaded to YouTube. And hopefully you can watch it.